Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about my mans, the Portland Trailblazers. So let's get right into today's video. And before we start today's NBA video, what do you expect from the Portland Trailblazers this NBA season? What do you think their record is going to be? I believe this team, it was a late season moves, off-season moves, but I think they did enough to have a better record than last year and hopefully entice Damian Lillard to continue his career in Portland. So let's get right into it. Have the handy dandy laptop right in front of me. All right. Before this 3-team trade, I think I wasn't completely sold that they had done enough for Dame time. But adding the 28-year-old Larry Nance is a good pickup. Okay, they were able to flip Derrick Jones's contract and just need to add a pick to make him actually worth moving, and I'm glad that they were able to get Larry Nance, a guy who per 36 minute averages 9.9 rebounds and 1.9 steals a game, and he's not the world's best 3-point shooter, but he is a willing 3-point shooter, so he's a versatile rotational player or even starter with them. And then they also added Cody Zeller, who I think is solid. He's a solid backup for Jusuf Nurkic, who Jusuf Nurkic has struggled with health, and Zeller could be the guy that if he does miss some time, he can do a amicable job backing him up or replacing him for spot minutes. And Tony Snell, he led the NBA with 3-point percentage last year, and he's a decent 3-and-D guy. And I really do believe Chauncey Billups has the opportunity to be an excellent head coach. He can talk to anybody. He's got a point guard view of the game, and he's going to give it straight to his player, bluntly, just how they would like it. And he's a former player, so he knows how to talk with them. And they could still be waiting for the Ben Simmons asking price to go down. But I don't think it's going to be realistic, because if they do trade for Ben Simmons, it's because they're trading away Damian Lillard. I don't think a package of CJ McCollum and a bunch of other players would be able to get them. So if we look at just what they lost, it was Derrick Jones Jr., Zach Collins, Enes Kanter, Carmelo Anthony, the 22 first-round pick, and they got rid of Terry Stotts. They brought in Ben McLemore, Larry Nance, Cody Zeller, and Tony Snell, and Greg Brown III, and they hired Chauncey Billups. So let's talk about this team real quick. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, Jusuf Nurkic, Larry Nance Jr., Anthony Simons, Nazir Little, Ben McLemore, Tony Snell, Cody Zeller, CJ Ellaby, Greg Brown III, who I expect to be a similar player as Jeremy Grant, so I don't know when he's going to be ready. All right. And then they have power forward Trendon Watford on a 2-way contract. So right now they have 13 players under contract. And I fully expect them to go out there and get themselves maybe another center in their rotation, maybe another wing. Because if you look at this team, their biggest holes on the roster are backup point guard and arguably backup center. Jusuf Nurkic and Cody Zeller, there's there, but if one gets hurt, you don't really have a backup. Trendon Watford could play it, and so can Larry Nance, but I don't think I think Larry Nance would be doing it better than Trendon Watford, but Trendon Watford could be a similar player to Jared Vanderbilt, I believe. But yeah, they don't have a backup point guard unless Anthony Simons is going to take over that role. Their starting small forward is probably going to be Norman Powell backed up by Nazir Little, Tony Snell, and maybe a little bit of Ben McLemore. I expect Robert Covington to start unless they're going to move Robert Covington to small forward and start Larry Nance. And CJ McCollum to be the starting shooter guard, backed up by Anthony Simons, Norman Powell, Tony Snell, and Ben McLemore and CJ Ellaby. So I think really Norman Powell, Tony Snell, and Nazir Little will be bouncing between small forward and power forward. I think Tony Snell, Norman Powell, and Ben McLemore and CJ Ellaby will be bouncing between shooting guard and small forward. And then you'll have, I think really the biggest question is Anthony Simons is going to be the backup point guard for this team. Will that be what they're doing? I think that's the most interesting part. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. What do you think the Portland Trailblazers need to do to put themselves in a position to have success, I think definitely they're in what I would call, not a pickle, but they got to do something to do something, because this is a team that I'm scared if everything doesn't go to plan, in the sense, did they make enough moves to be better than they were last year? And that's where I look around and I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. This is a team that last year they went 42-30. They lost in the first round. Do I think this is a 50-win team? Yes. As long as my man Damian Lillard is there, it's a 50-win team. And hopefully this is the year that Damian Lillard finally wins his MVP. Okay, maybe he has an Aaron Rodgers type of year where he's just fed up and he just balls out. Okay? And I think Chauncey Billups will bring over a lot. I think what we saw from the Clippers when their centers weren't playing well and Kawhi left, that ultra small ball lineup, I think we'll see something like that with Larry Nance, Tony Snell, Norman Powell, CJ McCollum, and Damian Lillard at times. I think that'll be a very effective small ball lineup that I think a lot of people aren't going to be anticipating, you know? So I'd love to hear those thoughts down below. What do you guys think the Trailblazers are going to be? I think they'll be the 4th seed. Maybe they could push into the first seed. I really do believe that this will be the year that our man Damian Lillard will have a chance to win MVP, you know? I think it should be it should be his time, you know? And it's been a minute. So I just think it's just not fair and for him, who's a guy that I personally believe has been deserving of an MVP for years now, okay? And he hasn't gotten one because allegedly his teams haven't been good enough or he hasn't been good enough, when there's been multiple instances where Damian Lillard should have won an MVP and didn't. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of the Clippers and what would you guys be doing, or what do you guys think need to be done? But that's basically it for me, guys. Hope you